Okay, we begin. Still in. Let's begin. Please join. Uh, yes, you're already joined, and I don't know why you left. Okay. Please come online. Let's not waste screen time. So, tool sit down there. Okay, so welcome to Biosabha, Bioinformatics Study of Academic Biological Heuristics and Aspirations of Biosabha Participants. This is a Biosabha weekly registration link, bit.ly/Biosabha, or in small letters, and Google Classroom link, bit.ly/GCR Biosabha, Google Classroom Biosabha, small caps. Google Meet link, bit.ly/join Biosabha, and we're open to join a WhatsApp group for as a forum, bit.ly/bios app. And contact Biosabha speaker myself plus that's number, and also connect on LinkedIn. Okay, so coming back to admit new participants. Okay. Yes, Sangeeta ji. Yes, Sangeeta ji. Hello. Hello, Sangeeta ji. Yeah. You can please join after registration. Yes, you can join from Monday. Yes, after registration. In the interest of everybody who has registered. Yes. Sorry for that. Yeah. Okay. So. And here we have this we introduced just now. So let's go to Ria. We wanted to discuss some basics of bioinformatics. Okay, so yes, so yes, coming back. Yes, Ria, please read this section 1, first paragraph.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What and how of bioinformatics? Dr. Pauline Hodwig founded the Theoretical Biology and Bioinformatics Group at Utrecht University in 1977. The term bioinformatics was coined by Pauline Hodwig and Ben Hasper in 1978 when studying informatic process in biotech system. So how different is computational biology from bioinformatics? The term bioinformatics is a tool, while computational biology is regarded as a great discipline science. Several bioinformatic tools have been established in recent past which paved way in approaching computational biology today: system biology, genome, and protein informatics. However, with the advent of these disciplines, all have been dealt system biology.
Yeah.
A big tab
So
called
basically,
computational system biology.
yeah.
That's all, sir.
So basically, bioinformatics, if you can think of it like a tool which can give us a purpose. For example, to travel from one place to another, we can use a car as a tool. So bioinformatics is a car where we use it as a tool to achieve a purpose. Computational biology can be thought of as an engine, right? So computational biology is the engine of this tool. And computer-aided drug discovery can be thought of as the journey. Okay, so basically, bioinformatics, computational biology, and drug discovery can be correlated in this way. This was an article I wrote long back for BioClue's newsletter called BioClue Speaks, maybe in August 2012. So basically, bioinformatics is a tool, and computational biology is the engine for the tool, and drug discovery can be thought of as a journey. So drug discovery is quite a long journey. It takes about 14 years to approve a drug by the Federal Food and Drug Administration, as we know, on an average, and about $1 billion of investment. Okay, so you can read this section on the right top corner you can see basically 9 boxes, right? Yes, Riya, you can see 9 boxes: general, special, and unknown, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, you can
So
read.
general is DNA.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir. I'll start
yeah,
it.
yeah,
General DNA to DNA.
yeah. What is it? What is it?
Then it is transcript
Is it?
replication.
Yeah, and then general
Okay.
number 2 is what?
Transcription.
Yes, and then
And
general number 3
RNA to
is,
protein translation.
yeah, and special.
In special, it's RNA to DNA,
Yeah,
RNA to DNA,
yeah,
then RNA to
yeah.
RNA,
What is it?
and then
RNA into
DNA to
DNA. What
protein.
is it?
RNA to DNA is reverse transcription.
Yeah, and RNA to RNA.
RNA is RNA to RNA will be
It will be something like the secondary structure of RNA, right? Like hairpin loops and
RNA replication.
yeah,
Yes.
like also structurally RNA can do complementarity with itself and structural aspects of RNA. And DNA to protein, yes, there is a genomic context of translation. So RNA to protein is the transcriptomic context of translation. DNA to protein is genomic context of translation. So basically, in RNA to protein and DNA to protein, the only difference is we in RNA to protein, wherever there's a uracil, we in DNA to protein we convert it into thymine, right? Yes, yes. Yes, in RNA to protein, wherever there's uracil U, in DNA to protein, it's going to be thymine, right? Yes.
See, yes.
Yeah. So unknown protein to DNA and protein to RNA and protein to protein. Okay, so we already know the hypothesis to dogmas. We just can summarize this entire figure in this table, in this nine field table. Okay, so yes, so this much, right? Yes, you can read the major third stage of bioinformatics, the major applications of bioinformatics. Yes.
Yes, so keep the slide little up.
Yeah,
Scroll the
yeah. You can read the major applications of bioinformatics.
little up. Okay, so sequence analysis, genome annotation, computational evolutionary biology, gene and protein expression analysis, mutations. In comparative genomics, then structural biology. In structural biology, we have predicting structure, docking, biological modeling, and high throughput. Then high throughput computing, interaction and functional genomics, in which we have molecular to atomic, structural, and visualization.
So this entire thing can be summarized with this paradigm. The basic thing what we are going to address in bioinformatics is this paradigm: sequence to structure to function. So in a fundamental way, how can we understand sequence to structure to function? Maybe in terms of what we observe around us. So how do we perceive the world around us, and how can we understand sequence to structure to function? So basically, what is protein primary structure? Anybody can answer in the forum. Yes, it's interactive. So what is protein primary structure?
It's NH3, then carbon attached to any alkyl group, then COH,
Yes,
best amino acid. And its polymer will be protein.
yes. Currently in the meeting, we have. Okay, let us admit Gayatri. Hello, Gayatri. Yes, Gayatri, are we audible? Okay. Uh, okay. So, what is the fundamental way where we can understand sequence to structure to function in terms of uh, dimensions? Okay, dimensions is what is protein primary structure?
Single chain of amino acids.
Yeah, the sequence, right? Basically, the sequence is a protein primary structure, and structure can be protein secondary structure or tertiary structure, quaternary structure, and function of a protein is basically based on maybe its protein-protein interactions, and also the function changes as a function of time. So basically, sequence is one dimensional, right? Sequence is one dimensional, at least in the form of flat file. Structure is two dimensional in the form of PDB files, for example, in the form of coordinates, or it can also be three dimensional in the form of actual geometric visualization. And function is time, right? Function is basically in can be expressed in time scale. So this is basically a space-time, the fundamental physics space-time paradigm. So sequence from one dimension, we are going to structure 2 and 3 dimensions, and then function in time. So one dimension to 2 dimensions or 3 dimension, and then time. So space-time, yes. Space is basically 3 dimensions, 1, 2, 3 dimensions or 3 dimensions, and then time and function. Okay, so yes, yeah, you can continue with this as well.
Today, bioinformatics research is known in several areas whereas is developing. With an approximate 10 plant genomes and more than 100 plant livestock genomes have been sequenced, there is a need for bioinformatics to be relevant. Arabidopsis thaliana has been the reference genome not just for plants but for all higher eukaryotes and mammalian genomes. Genome informatics in these areas has resulted in development of host of tools. However, there is a lacuna of research in protein-protein interaction studies in agriculture, which so far has been limited to identifying the function of protein and genes through quantitative trait loci (QTL) and qualitative trait loci (QUTL).
Okay,
The three GenBank,
the three gen
a
banks we can
consortium.
summarize with today's basics. So the three gen banks, what do they belong to? Basically, the three gen banks. Are you aware of them already?
Yes, this NCBI, EMBL, and DDBJ.
Yeah. So what under what umbrella do they come?
Um, NCBI.
Okay, NCPI is
I guess.
basically only one of. So basically, we can say in a way that the three gen banks are separated across the globe with 8 hours of time zone difference, right? NCPI is in the Pacific Standard Time, and EMBL we can see Central European Standard Time, CST as Central European Summer Time or Central European Standard Time, and DDBJ is in the Japanese Standard Time. So, what is the specialty of the three databases, or what connects the three databases? Yes.
Same information is shared and updated among them,
Yeah.
or there
Yeah.
is a one single entity which
Yeah. So basically, if we
runs all
share
three.
one information, if we submit information to one of the three, it gets reflected in the other two within 8 hour to 16-hour difference. So the three databases come under the INSDC umbrella, International Nucleotide Sequence Database Consortium, and they have the Harvard infrastructure powered by SciNet. SciNet is capital SCINET, so that is NET in caps and S in caps. So SciNet is a scientific and information network which powers the INSDC, International Nucleotide Sequence Database Consortium. That is the umbrella for these three databases. Okay, we will continue with bioinformatics basics again. So coming to Dr. Manjari, yes. So Dr. Manjari, this is about lot of bioinformatics jobs I have compiled here in my blogspot. Yes, I'll share the link with you. in Google Chat as well and WhatsApp as well. So yes, yes. So Dr. Manjari, these are the links I've compiled here. Yes, you can see them. This is not only for across India but even internationally. Yes, have you already come across any of these links for bioinformatics job opportunities?
Yes, the Biotechnica one we used to get
Yeah,
updates once we subscribe.
yeah. Did you ever see refer to India Bioscience?
No, I'll just check.
Uh,
Yes, I have gone to India Bioscience.
okay. So India Bioscience also lists some jobs which are quite internally advertised by project investigators. So if you go to the jobs, you have three sections basically. We recently posted and closing soon and open deadlines as well. So usually the open deadlines are something like for lot of positions where you have senior level positions or mid level positions. So you just have to see the open deadline positions and directly contact the supervisor. It's not even India Bison's jobs are directly advertised by the employers. For example, if you go to, let us say, uh, let us say PhD question in competition biology, right? Here, so usually the job description is also very good in India Bison's jobs link. There's a profile and qualification. You get the experience to apply instructions, and it is very much curated or very much moderated, something like BioClues, but this is more nationally funded by DST. So open deadlines are usually for mid-level and high-level positions. Closing soon, obviously, is where the deadlines are approaching, and recently posted, you have where the deadlines are going to be much longer compared to which particular day you are referring to them. Yes. So coming back, so what is your geography target? Like you want to go abroad for your postdoc, or you want to be within India, or even within India you want to be within Hyderabad?
Within India or maybe abroad, the as such no geographical barrier, no
Okay,
limitation as such.
okay, and within India you are ready to relocate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So India Bioscience is a good forum, but something that is not listed here in this link is of course current science. If you refer to current science, do you know current science journal? Yes, have you ever referred?
No.
Okay, current science is published since 1937 by the Indian Institute of Science, IISc. Yes, so it is that is twice a month it is released. The hard copy you can do subscription, but soft copy is free online at www.currentscience.ac.in. So I'm mentioning the link. So here, yes, currentscience.ac.in. Okay, Gayatri, you mentioned in the chat. I'll come to you. 1 minute. So currentscience.ac.in here, and also in WhatsApp I mentioned, because that's not listed in the blogspot link. So if you go to current science, for example, www.currentscience.ac.in, right? So every 10th of a month and every 25th of a month is this released. Okay. Yes, are the dates clear? every 10th of the month and every 25th of the month current science journal is released. I mean issue is released.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So generally you need not wait even till 10th. Usually by 8th night or 9th morning it will be released for the 10th issue. Generally you need not even wait till 25th for the 25th issue. It will be released 23rd night or 24th morning, like that. So for example, let's go to 10th September 2020 issue, the latest issue, right? So today is obviously 12th September, so 10th is the latest issue. So if you go down, if you obviously there will be lot of other articles like news, research news, general articles, research articles, research communications, personal news. So if you go to advertisement section, okay, the advertisement section in the bottom, yes, you can see a lot of advertisements, right? Yes. Yes, you can see that there are a lot of advertisements here, right? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So for example, here let us go to postdoctoral fellowship since you are a PhD. So IIT Gandhinagar. If you open this, let us. I don't know whether this is going to be life science, but just for an example. Okay, this is in mathematics in postdoctoral fellowship in IIT Gandhinagar. Obviously we'll have the entire description here as well in PDF format. So this is in mathematics. So if you are lucky, obviously you'll get for by life sciences also. For example, okay, this is also oceanography. So current science is a very broad-based journal for all the life sciences, including whatever topics, whatever subjects you have in CSIR life science, CSIR UGC, right? Like earth sciences, physical sciences, chemical sciences, biology, life sciences, and mathematical sciences. You can say that broadly, current science will cover notifications across all of these broad-based. It's not specific to life sciences. That's why I didn't mention it in the blog spot. But it's not specific to life sciences. But it will obviously contain. Okay, so Gayatri, coming to you, this is you already have the blogspot link noted, right? I mentioned I will chat in WhatsApp. Yes, I already shared the individual links with you long back. The same thing I have compiled in the blogspot and shared the link in the WhatsApp. Yes, Gayatri, you're seeing the WhatsApp on the screen.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. So
But
for
my main target is Canada. So what can I do? Like Canada and US.
okay, so US, coming to US, if you want, let us come with for you to specific geographies. So you can first go to this. Let me check ISCB. Yes. So careers.iscb.org/jobs. So this is going to give you a lot of US based bioinformatics job opportunities. Yes, I'm copying the link for you first in the Google chat, and then this, and then you can refer one sample notification you can refer. Okay, Dr. Manjari, is my voice still breaking? Yes, Dr. Manjari, is my voice still breaking? Okay, you can reply to us. Maybe if my voice is still breaking, you would have replied by now, because if it's a correction problem from your side, maybe you're not able to reply, but please reply fast whether the voice is breaking. So the connectivity.
I also wanted to know for Canada.
Yeah, yes, Gayatri. So first, let us see United States. Yes, you can see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns, right? Yes. What are the 6 columns here?
Now, yes. Created date, country, title, duration, organization.
Yeah. So, for example, you are interested in job or PhD position in US. Let's come to US first.
Both.
Okay. Okay, so data scientist, outreach coordinator, right? Computer craft organization. Let's click on view. September 11th. It was just notified yesterday. Yes, you have data science outreach coordinator. Basically, this is a job title, and you can apply in this particular link, and you have the description as well. But as you can see, much not your disappointment, but something to motivate you. What is the qualification you require? Yeah. So obviously, if you want to go into the international arena in a specific domain or in a technical domain, it's not something like bioinformatics or something like computational biology or anything. A PhD will give you a good leverage to move internationally. Yes. For example, you know CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing, right? Yes.
Okay, so fully funded
Okay. Let's see. Let us see PhD position. So Switzerland. Okay. Uh, Generally in US, let us see carefully. Okay. So this is again, yes, United States, Memphis, right? University of Memphis. You can see a PhD position here. So obviously for PhD position you don't require a PhD, right? So yes, that's a smart choice. So yeah, PhD position computational systems biology. You can see the start date. It's going to be January 18, 2021. Yes, it's going to be spring semester, right? Spring semester of 2021. And you can directly contact Dr. Daigle at memphis.edu, Dr. Bernie J. Daigle Jr. And everything is given here. A successful candidate should be highly motivated and have some Python programming experience, prior research experience in bioinformatics, so computation biology is desirable. So you first have to obviously apply to the graduate program of University of Memphis, and applicants must apply to both the University of Memphis graduate school and corresponding graduate program. To ensure full consideration, application should be completed by September 15th. So you can take September 15th to be the deadline. So you hardly have 3 days for this. Okay. Yes. Yes, you have hardly have 3 days.
So for like I'll have to take master, I have to first take admissions for master.
Yeah, obviously, if it's a PhD position, you see that it will be decided by the guide, and it will be decided by the graduate school whether you are going to do a MS PhD or whether you are going to do a direct PhD. Okay. See, graduate program in USA generally means integrated PhD or like a PhD. So it is up to the graduate school's decision, the committee's decision, whether you will be doing a MS PhD or a PhD. But in both ways, you will be ending up with a PhD, right? So you are going to apply for a PhD. See, there are two ways of applying to a graduate program in US. One is you apply for a MS only, or one is you apply for MS and PhD. Yes. In very exceptional cases, they will take you directly for PhD. Yes. Even if you do a master's, I have known students who have done MTech in India and they do again MS PhD in USA. Okay. Even after doing MTech in India, so it's a very convoluted process, right? If you can take the eligibility for MTech in India, even MSc students can do MTech. So it's like, for example, potentially there might be cases where MSc student in India can, after MSc he does MTech, and after MTech he does MS in US, and after MS in US he does PhD in US. So essentially he's doing 3 postgraduate degrees, right? MSc in India, MTech in India, and MS in US, and then he's embarking on the PhD program. Okay, so coming to, I already mentioned the link in WhatsApp and Google Chat. You can refer to that. So I'm coming to Canada. So I'm coming quickly to Canada. So here, this link. So if you go to job section here, yes, job postings. This particular website also has a mailing list subscription, just like you can subscribe your email ID and get alerts as well for most of the Canadian universities which offer the graduate programs. So coming down, yes, see all jobs. Okay. So it's taking time to load. Yes, you can see fully funded PhD positions right here. Yes, this is the University of Manitoba at Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. This is a graduate position. The degree level required is just a bachelor's or master's. It's fully funded PhD positions. So Dr. Pingzhao Hu Lab at Department of Biochemistry and Medical Genetics. So position 1, obviously you can see the job responsibilities as well. So it's direct application. This is official bioinformatics.ca website. You can see the left top corner, right? Yes. Yes, yes, bioinformatics.ca. So I'm just mentioning this link to you in Meet and WhatsApp. So
And
okay.
if one wants to get a job, like if not PhD, but for a job, then what should I do?
You mean job abroad?
Yes.
It's quite competitive because there are international pool of applicants, and generally, though it may be notified that a master's is sufficient, you will be requiring heavy experience if you're a master's. Minimum 5 years or 10 years of experience after master's, and minimum of PhD. So if you want to do like that, let us see this. So let us see some samples. So bioinformatics.org. So job listings, right? Yes. So obviously most of the bioinformatics opportunities are usually in academic institutes, and the way you can get jobs abroad, in a way I can say, you should be more of in if you're a master's, you should be more of inclining towards not technical roles but business development roles. Okay, business development roles, you have more opportunities in terms of jobs, but business development does not mean purely business development in genomics or bioinformatics, but we also need to do technical sales. So that's an exciting opportunity, because this is not the right time to think about it, because of COVID affecting almost 213 countries, and international travel being restricted. But in the usual scenario, application scientist jobs, or even if you're in a good company in India, you can aim to travel abroad on a very busy basis to many conferences and many important conferences, and putting up stalls for your particular company there. For example, 10x Genomics. Yes, 10x Genomics has office in Singapore, office in Bangalore. So if you are in business development role there, you should also know the technicalities of bioinformatics. It's not that you just do some marketing stuff there. You should be very strong in technical bioinformatics in order to do business development jobs in this area. And it's exciting because one thing is, even at a very young age, even not becoming a professor, even at a very young age, you can go to conferences, you can interact with scientists, and you can put up stalls and interact with delegates, and it's quite exciting if you can consider that. Okay.
Can you tell me the companies that are like in terms of machine learning companies for bioinformatics? Because there are not many, I'm trying to find few, but not many. So which companies did you tell me that right now? What was the name?
So that's what you can go back to this itself, right? Yes, machine learning, data science, all are one. We went back to the same link there. You already saw this, for example, already the ISAB job post where there was a data scientist notification in computer craft. So obviously if you see the description also, machine learning is mentioned already. So this is the latest. This just notified yesterday, right? September 11, 2020. Yes, in Bethesda, data scientist outage coordinator in computer craft. So if you open this, yes, let us check. Yes, or let us check. Okay, then you have to see detailedly every link. It's not that you go to very specific links and we mentioned all the list of machine learning companies here. For example, if you want to do a survey of companies, this is a good portal. So biotechgate.com. Yes. So in biotechgate.com, it's loading. Yes. So you want the companies list, right? So what does this read?
In India.
Yeah, this includes India also, don't worry. So it includes all countries. Yes. What is this database?
50,000.
Yeah, so you can refer to this. Yes, this is all very simple, right? It's all browsing task. Yes, it's left to you in your own interest, in your own time. So yes, there are 50,000 companies database is there. It's all left to you. It's across countries. It's across all countries. It's not only India. It's not only abroad. All countries. So I'm mentioning this. You can go to biotechgate.com. I'm mentioning this in WhatsApp also. Okay, so Gayatri, we'll have some 5 minutes discussion regarding our project description. Yes, project discussion. Yes. Okay, so because you didn't come yesterday, so we'll come to you. But first, let us come to Stelin. Stelin is online, right? So yes, Stelin, you're online. Yes. Okay, clear. CD Vaisava and so let us go to sessions, right? Okay.
Ramesh, can you tell me what exactly are you doing right now? I mean, Stelling and you seem to have been having conversations about this.
What, Dr. Manjari?
I'm asking, you and Stelling are having conversation about, I guess, on Linux or Python, is it?
No, Stelin just wanted some Python-based resources, so he registered before you. He registered even before you. So some.
Yeah, that is what I mean. I'm just listening to you both, but I could understand something. But if you could just tell us to others also, just at least they'll have an idea of what you both are discussing.
Sure. You mean to say Gayatri's discussion or the discussion with Stelin?
Stelling.
Yeah. I'm coming to that. 1 minute. So this is just general basic simple Python programs you can practice for yourself. So if you go to the official GitHub link for Biosava, so I'm mentioning the link here. It's already shared last time as well. So this is the GitHub link. So I'm again mentioning in WhatsApp. So keep this on record or bookmark this link. So here is coming to this, and then this is src.zip. Stelin, you won't face any problem with the zip file. It should be ideally you should get it. So wget qualifier C to command line download, right? And then you download this. This is about this. So take okay. Okay. This is saved. Okay, you got it as srt.zip. Let's unzip it. Let's check. Okay, 1 minute. You can directly go here. Then in that case, yes, you can click on this. Yes, go to the link and click on this, and you can click download. Okay, that should work. So I'm downloading into the same folder, home Bhaskara, and then sessions September 2020 and 12th. And okay, first let me delete this so that it won't conflict. Okay, I download. Yes, so this should download. Yes, so just right click on it and extract here. This is all simple things. This is not related to Python. This is simple file tasks. Let's go to my scripts. Right, you have this many scripts. So you have Python 3 already, right? Shalin, you said you install on your MacBook Air. So and we go to cd src and ls and then cd my scripts. Yes, my scripts and then ls and then clear. Yes, ls. So we take hello.py for example. So Python 3 hello.py. Yes, hello.py is in the third column, 1 2 3 4 5 fifth row, third column, fifth row. Yes, so hello, you got it right. So this is a simple thing, challenge. Just download the src file. There are 93 Python programs in this, and the way to run this is this way. I'm mentioning along with the shell terminal. So copy and in Google Chat. So in Google Chat, coming here, this is this way. So I'm mentioning a direct way. So program name program.py, right? So this is how we run it. This is one way. The second thing is this way. So let us take for example, we want to say nanodata.py. Okay, first I'm doing this. First I'm copying this for you. So this is the first way is to directly run the Python scripts in Python 3 space program.py. Program is not program.py. It is just whatever is the base name of the file. Base name is the file name without extension. So the base name of hello.py is what? Hello, right? The base name of system.py is system. So coming back, so just run program as a base name, and here this is nanodata.py. So if you just explore this with nano, I am also mentioning in this is just an example. So please follow this very carefully. There should not arise any simple doubts. So we are just mentioning examples. Yes. So and if you come to nanodata.py, you can do nano space data.py. Open this. Yes, you got all this right. Stelin, you can see the Python program here. Hello Stelin, can you speak? Stelin, yeah.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
see.
you can see the Python program here, right? So whenever you have this line, you have a Python program. The way they simply practices, in my opinion, in this way. Whatever one line gap you have, you put a two line gap. Yes. After OS, if you have a one line gap, you just type enter. Just type enter. Again type this import space pickle comma OS. Yes. And then go back and delete this. Again press delete. Yes, like this you retype the program. Okay, and a very good practice is even more rudimentary. Just write the program on a piece of paper. Take a A4 sheet of piece of paper, write the program fully, and then freshly type in nano, and then you do control plus X, and then press Y for yes. Yeah? And then again you can do Python 3 and data.py. Yes. Okay, so we just made a small spelling mistake, right? It is pk, so we have to correct the spelling mistake. So go to nano.data.py. So it's pk, so let's keep it as pickle. So type L here. So this way you will note that even a small spelling mistake will give an error. So just do control plus X and then Y, and then again Python 3 data.py, right? Enter topic. So whatever topic you want to enter, let's say Python. So let's enter series 1. So let us check the way this is organized. I will get back to you with the series of running the programs. Okay, the series of running the programs is not essentially in alphabetical order. Okay, there's a particular series of running these programs, so that we'll discuss on Monday. So this is a simple approach to how you can run the Python program. This 93 scripts that I'm going to mention. Okay, so okay, we'll come back. And yes, Gayatri, so coming back to you, we discussed entropy last time, right? You remember?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm going to
I
ask.
was not there.
Yeah, so Gayatri joined long back, and we discussed this, right, Gayatri, the entropy concept in the encoding of
Yes.
sequences.
Yes.
Yes. So please explain this. Please explain this quickly. Yes.
Okay, so the probability of A in the whole in that sequence, small sequence, was 1/2.
Yeah.
And same goes with PGP. Okay, so this I don't remember.
Yes. How do you calculate the surprisals? It's already given here, right? It's already given here, right? Yes. In the orange.
Yeah, the log p value with
Is it log p value or is it negative log p value? Is it negative log p value, right?
it's negative log p value. So we
Yeah.
calculate the surprises, and then we multiply it with the probability, and that's what we get it per symbol, bit per symbol.
Okay. So what is 2? 2 is 2. 1/2 is what? 2 power minus 1, right?
Yes.
Yes, to 2 power minus 1 and minus 1 into 2. Let's check 2 power minus 1. If it is there, log of 2 power minus 1 is equal to minus 1 into log 2. Okay, is it clear? Yes, that's a standard logarithmic computation, right? Logarithm of a power is a power into logarithm. So log of 2 power minus 1 is minus 1 into log of 2. So log of 2 to the base 2 is 1, right? So that's plus 1. So similarly explain please quickly. So UC, UG and UT. Yes. How can 1/4 be written in terms of power of 2?
Sorry, like your voice is breaking.
Okay, how can 1/4 be written in terms of power of 2?
2 raised to minus 4.
Please Gayatri, please be very specific. If you are going to undertake a project, it's very important to be careful. It's not a matter of saying quickly. You can take time, but you should say correctly, because we spend time on this, right? How can 4 be written as power of 2? 1/4. Yes, 1/4. Anybody can interact and sort it out.
2 to the power of minus 2.
Yes, 2 to the power minus 2,
2
right?
to the power of minus 2.
Yeah, so what is going to be minus log of 1/4?
상계지. 아, 이거 도움보다 여기.
2.
Yes. How can you explain?
2.
Yes, how can you explain that minus log of 1/4 is 2? How can you explain that? Just don't see the answer here. How do you explain that, please?
If we see the exponential value 2
Yeah.
to the power minus 2,
Yeah.
so it is log base 2. So in the right hand side it's 2, and exponential power when it is minus 2. The
Yeah.
formula minus log 2 p1 tells us that the exponential power that the 2 has been raised,
Yeah.
that value it will give, so it will come to 2. And since negative is there,
Yeah.
so it should come minus 2, but negative will become
Yeah.
4.
Good. So for 8 it will be 2 power minus 3, so that will be 3, and for 1/8 again 2 power minus 3 will be 3. So how do we calculate entropy? Entropy will be the sum of the product of the probability and the surprises, right? So 1/2. So this UA entropy H is equal to UA PA into UA plus PC into UC plus PG into UG plus PT into UT. So that's going to be what? 1/2 into 1 plus 1/4 into 2 plus 1/8 into 3 plus 1/8 into 3. This will be 1.75. So do all the probabilities, are they normalized, or the probabilities normalized? or the probability is normalized?
Yes, since log is being taken, that means it's normalized,
So
right?
normalized means equals to what?
No. Probabilities are not normalized.
Yes, what is 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 8 plus 1 by 8?
1.
Yes, so it's normalized, right? So we see that this is going to be 1 bit for A and 2 bit for C and 3 bits for G and T. So let us encode A as 1 and C as 01, G as 000 and T as 001. So using the same logic here, so quickly if you see AC, AT, GA, AC, an example sequence can be encoded in this way. A is 1 and C is 01, A is again 1 and T is 001. Yes, and 1 and 001, and G is going to be 000 followed by AA, that's going to be 11, and C, that's going to be 01. So how many binary numbers are in this? How many binary numbers here in orange color?
14.
Yes, and what is the length of this sequence?
8.
8. What is 14 divided by 8?
1.75.
And that is the same as entropy, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, it's exactly 9. We'll continue Monday. Yes, it's hope you enjoy your weekend. Yes. Our sessions are not like breaking up of
Small request, Prahashit.
yeah.
Nothing like that. I mean, just like you have given a shared, basic protocol for bioinformatics, where there was information as well as some tutorials which we can do.
Yeah.
Similarly, could you give some, or you can share some material on Python, bioinformatics in Python, basic.
Okay, sure. Already these 93 scripts are there in this link, which is shared in WhatsApp. Yes. These
Yeah, it is there, but the basics, which covers everything, even if we start from the basic also, it will be easier to do, meanwhile, when we have these gaps of, Sundays or weekends like that.
Sure. In my opinion, these 93 scripts are the very basic Python scripts, taking into account the semantics, the syntax, and everything. For example, coming to this hello.py, right? If you just do cat hello.py, okay. If you just do cat hello.py, it's just a one-line Python script, right?
Yeah.
Print of hello world. Okay?
Yeah.
So this in my opinion, these are the starting point of Python. This is not about Python for bioinformatics or Python for cheminformatics. It's just about basic Python.
Programming.
Yeah, very basic Python. Yes. So this can be accessed in this link mentioned here, here in WhatsApp, in the GitHub link, github.com/bioinformers/biosabha. Yes, this link. If you open this link,
I mean, I was asking why, because Classroom, you have a Google Classroom, right? You could actually use post in there, just not in WhatsApp, so that the earlier material by Atwood, right?
Yeah.
You had given yesterday. I was reading. No, day before yesterday, I was reading it. It was good, actually. Even for the very basic person or someone who wants to go back, for the basics also, it's very nice. Similarly, if you
Yeah, so Atwood was basically authored by Dr. Teresa K. Atwood. She is a professor of bioinformatics at the University of Manchester with about more than 40 years of bioinformatics teaching experience, basically for undergraduates. And all her teaching materials, whatever I have compiled in the Atwood, they're all open access and they can be used for teaching purpose by giving the citation to the original authors. Yes. Yeah. So this is, if you go to this link, the third one, src.zip, is I mentioned 93 Python scripts. So you can the way to download.
you had given the link.
Yeah. So way to download this, I'll just briefly explain. So click on the src.zip like this. Click on this. Once you click on this, you will get a download button on the right side. Yes. Yeah. It's about 6.93 MB. You'll get a download button on the right side. Once you download this, it will download in a zip format. So once you download the zip format, so let me do it for example in downloads. So once you save it, you have to right click and extract it. It's just simple, right? How you know how to unzip a zip file. So once you unzip it, you basically will get three folders, basically htdocs, my projects and my scripts. So these three folders are interlinked because most of the Python scripts and my scripts, they have paths to this folders, other folders. Okay, so we'll continue Monday 8 p.m. Yes, thank you for joining.
Okay.
Sir,
Yeah, yes, Riya.
sir, I had a question related to future career and this job option. So, shall I ask in next meeting or shall I ask now?
Yeah, is it okay? Just now we discussed some of the job links, right? So yes, you can put forth your query. Yeah.
Uh, sir, actually, currently now I'm in MTech biotechnology. So my course work will include much of bioinformatics and computational biology. So my question was sir, before landing in the in jobs or whether it is PhD, the basic skill set we have to gain. So what are the courses we should do before landing up there
So you're talking about
to
bioinformatics
gain the
jobs
skills?
or biotech?
No, sir, bioinformatics jobs or
So
PhD. Before landing up
basically,
there, we need to develop some
basically,
basic skills.
as a biotech student, you will be at a very much advantage because the general observation is that it is very difficult to move from dry lab to wet lab. Okay, yes,
Okay.
but it's very easy to move from wet lab to dry lab. Okay, uh,
So
yes,
the only limitation is this: I have to learn much of programming. I have just been in C and C++ in BTech.
that's good because already you have some exposure and it's bioinformatics is not just about also programming. Yes, you have to have, if you see the bioinformatics national certification BINC syllabus, it's about 15 pages and it's divided into 6 sections. Okay, basically bioinformatics and biology, biochemistry, mathematics, physics, statistics, programming and chemistry. Okay,
Okay.
yes, you need to be strong in all of the basic sciences for attacking bioinformatics. So it's not just about programming.
Now, Bing is removed, right? Bing
Yeah,
is removed
BINC
and
has
is
been
replaced by
removed.
DBT
Yeah, BINC has been
and
removed.
converted to DBT.
Yeah, converted to DBT JRF. What has been the original BINC syllabus has been just condensed into maybe some section 14 of DBT JRF.
Yeah, it's
But
almost similar to CSIR.
you know, it was more tougher than CSI because CSI is just a single exam, right? BINC is a three level exam, objective, subjective, and programming. Yes.
This,
Uh,
yeah, I know.
yeah, and also there are still existing examinations at national level in India conducted by Agricultural Societies Recruitment Board (ASRB), and also the ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, conducts a NET exam in bioinformatics. So it's code number 54. There is a national eligibility test in bioinformatics conducted by ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research. So the cutoff is fixed; it's always 50%. And if you see the ICAR website, there's an equivalency certificate for the NET exam with respect to CSIR and DBT and others, UGC and others. So basically, ICAR NET, there's an equivalency certificate issued by the Government of India. So it's equivalent to CSIR NET. So Indian Council of Agricultural Research NET is last year it was conducted, I think, in November 2019. So this should be notified soon this year as well. And even then, there's ICAR's another exam, maybe AAC exam for SRF, so Senior Research Fellow PhD exam. So there, the code number 72 is bioinformatics. So that's a 2-hour examination, whereas the ICAR NET is a 3-hour examination. There's a fixed cutoff for ICAR NET. There's a 50% is a fixed cutoff, and also the ICAR NET, if you see, basically 50% of the questions will be in computer programming and 50% of the questions in bioinformatics. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, sir. And
Then
this considering this future option, if being biotechnologist, what fields will be in bioinformatics, which will less focus on programming and more on the application of biotechnology, but
so
in bioinformatics?
yes, so you can say personalized genomics or clinical bioinformatics. Yes,
Okay,
and
because those
yeah,
is what I'm asking.
yeah. So
Fields will be where I'll be able to perform well. So I'm asking.
yes, obviously, uh, even see even those who have to get into bioinformatics from other fields. For example, there are a lot of people, scientists, who do even PhD or postdoc in physics and then get into bioinformatics because of the interest and because of the rapid pace at which it's developing. So learning biology is a must. Okay. Uh, having biology core knowledge is very much important. Yes. So without that, it doesn't make sense to learn any amount of programming or any amount of data analysis or any amount of NGS sequencing or anything. So biology knowledge is what will constrain many aspects there while we do a analysis based hypothesis like data analysis based hypothesis for experimental design and so on. Okay, we'll continue Monday. It's about 9:10. Yes, enjoy
Okay,
your
sir.
weekend. Yes, happy weekend. Whenever we continue a session, let us continue it in a natural way. Of course, we have 8 to 9, but we'll continue it in terms of the previous session. There's no harm in that. Yes. Yes, we naturally
Today's was good. You have covered almost everyone's queries. So
Okay,
it was
okay.
nice.
Thank you.
You've given time for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue Monday. A happy weekend. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Wish you
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.